there, my name is Doug Truitt, and I am the head of revenue success for Rentals United. And I'm excited to be here today and to talk to you about a couple of great features inside of Rentals United with our Booking.com connection. So we are a premier partner connection with Booking.com, which is an amazing accolade for us as a company, because it allows us to utilize all of the APIs within Booking.com, as well as just really certifies the attention that we give to that channel connection, as well as the performance that we drive for our clients via Booking.com. So what I'm going to share with you today, I'm going to talk about two things within Booking.com, two features, which is rate plans. Obviously, we understand and know that rate plans seem like they're just kind of a one and done in a lot of cases, where it's just one rate plan. This is my rate plan feeding up to the channel, get bookings in, standard set of cancellation policies, etc. But the reality is that through Booking.com with Rentals United, you can build additional rate plans. And then the second piece is we're going to talk about the Booking.com promotion API that Rentals United has, meaning you can build a mobile promotion or a length of stay promotion or a few other options for the promotions that you can build right inside the Rentals United Extranet and not have to go to Booking.com to do anything. It builds it, sends it right through your listings, and then hopefully delivers you a better conversion on bookings because you're appearing higher in the search results and utilizing Booking.com's marketing when you publish a promotion that they will put into, app pushes or marketing email campaigns, that kind of thing. So let's get into it here. As you see, I'm here on the main screen. This is a demo test account. What we're going to do is we're going to go over to the services side. This is the first part we're going to address here is the rate plans, adding an additional rate plan. So we're going to go into the services section. When you get into the services section, we're going to scroll down through all the different channels that you're connected to. Granted, there's a lot here because this is a test account and we test all the time. But we're going to go down to Booking.com. Pay no attention to the red X in there. It doesn't mean anything for this instance because it's a test account. But if there is that on yours, take a look at what your errors are and see if you can try and resolve or fix the errors by clicking in. If not, and there are some major components, please reach out to your account manager or our support team, and we'll be able to help you by submitting a ticket and getting some resolution answers for you. So we're going to click into property settings. And I already know the property I'm messing with because I've kind of set up this video to help speed things along. But the listing we're looking for is this 2788424. Now you'll notice there are three properties here because we had 3 units within this listing. So this Booking.com listing was built as what we call a multi-unit logic or a clustered. And so that means that there is one listing ID and there is, in this case, 3 apartments, or maybe potentially more in some cases, but there are 3 apartments or units or properties within that one listing. So they're at the same physical address and there's just three apartments within it. So, but we're not going to be messing with these other 2. We're just going to be looking at this standard apartment, property 8 is what it's called. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our Booking.com listing or group home. This is actually at the listing level. So you go to your group home when you log into your admin.booking.com extranet. And when you get there and you find the listing you're looking for, which you can put in the search field, the 2788424, after you've known what you're looking for. But once you get to the listing and you open it up, this is what you'll be seeing. Up here you got home, reservations, property, opportunities, all these things. We're going to click into rates and availability, and we're going to go into rate plans. Now, once you get inside the rate plans, you'll notice here we have 2 sets of rate plans that are non-refundable. When you click the little drop-down arrow, it'll tell you what room types are applied to this rate plan. So you have this apartment and the Kawazalurka, whatever, I'm assuming it's mostly just a test. And then you've got this other non-refundable, same settings, but it's just for a different room type. What we're going to do is we're going to add a new rate plan. okay? Because we're going to add a flexible rate plan. We're going to make something flexible for customers, and we're going to look to charge a premium on that. So go ahead and click Add New Rate Plan, and then you'll be brought here to see where they have they offer a mix of rate plans to attract the widest selection of potential customers. So these are kind of like what you would think of like presets, something that if you feel like what you're wanting to offer fits inside the actual box, basically, of these offerings they have. So you've got flexible, non-refundable, early booker, and then you have these two new ones called weekly and monthly, and I'll get to that in a second. And then you got this guy custom over here. So we're going to end up building a custom rate plan because it's going to be to our specifications of kind of flexibility and that kind of thing. Before I get into that, let me touch on the weekly monthly here a little bit. I want to make sure I make this very clear, but there are essentially kind of two types of pricing customers on Rentals United platform. They're either customers who use a length of stay pricing or that do not use the length of stay pricing. Now, if you use length of stay pricing, then this weekly monthly is not an option for you at this time from Booking.com. You can mitigate that by doing some discounts and stuff in your length of stay pricing setup for the weekly and monthly parameters that you're looking to do. But if you do not do length of stay pricing, the weekly monthly is an option for you. And this is a new feature that Booking.com has just put out. And what this is you can build a rate plan that either is a standalone, meaning you create a separate amount of rates that feed just to that rate plan, or you can use it to actually be a parent or be a child rate of your standard rate being fed in. So the parameters in here is basically anybody looking for a longer than a 1 week stay or a 1 week or greater stay on Booking.com will see this rate versus your standard rate in the search results when they're looking for their accommodations. So you would be able to set a discount here for the 1 week rate plan, like say 10%. And then the same goes for the monthly. So from 1 week or 7 days and greater, all the way up to 27 nights, which is 1 night less than this 28, they will be getting this discount offering that you've set up. And if they search for 28 nights all the way up to 30 nights, they'll be getting whatever you set up in this monthly rate plan. So it's a great new feature because Airbnb and Vrbo and some of the other channels out there have been doing weekly, monthly discounts, and Booking.com has finally answered that call to do the weekly, monthly, which has been a great thing because of length of stay behaviors and trends have increased quite a bit since COVID became a really big thing to the travel space. People are staying longer when they do travel. So anyways, that's those a little bit. So I'm going to quickly get in here to the custom rate plan. We're going to add a rate plan for the custom. So what we're going to do in here is we're going to just go through and pick some of these options they have for us. So which cancellation policy do you want to use for this rate plan? Now I want to point out that this is a very unique piece to this. So you can set up different cancellation policies that you would like to inside the Booking.com extranet of the listing. So you could build different cancellation policies as well as potentially feed some of those things over from Rentals United based on your settings and your setup already. But basically in here you have a flexible 5-day, you have a flexible 30-day, and then you have a non-refundable, okay? Now you saw those other two rate plans we had, and those were non-refundables. So that means that there's some component of those that you're not going to get your money back in its entirety of what you booked. Now we have set up a flexible 30 cancellation policy and a flexible 5. And let's just go over and look at those really quickly here. So in here, once you go into the property and policies, you'll see that this is where you can find your cancellation and prepayment policies. So you can see there's the flexible 30 that has been set up, the flexible 5, and then the non-refundable. And you'll see that you can edit these as well as add or create a new cancellation policy. But essentially this flexible 30 days is saying the guest can cancel free of charge until 30 days before their arrival date. The guest will be charged the total price of the reservation if they cancel within the 30 days before arrival, and there is no prepayment needed. Now obviously we can change all that and do what we want to do with it and edit it. So this is all customizable when you build these cancellation policies. For the sake of this exercise, you understand that you have to have a cancellation policy set up to reflect how you want to enforce a rate plan that somebody purchases, basically, and the offerings that come with it. So for this exercise, let's just go ahead and use the flexible 30 when we're building this rate plan. We're going to go back to our rate plans. So we're going to choose that flexible 30 days. Which cancellation policy do you want to use for this? The flexible 30 days is our guy for this one. Now, do you want to include meals in this rate plan? Most likely you probably don't have meals that you offer at your property. If you do, you can definitely make that an option to add that in there if you wanted to, which it brings up a couple of different options for you. We're going to hit no for this exercise. And then it says, do you want to set up a minimum length of stay for this rate plan? And I'm going to say yes. I'd love to set up a minimum length of stay because I want to make sure that somebody, is staying with me more than 2 nights. And now you may already have some minimum length of stay settings that are already automatically feeding in, but let's just go ahead and make sure that there's 2 there. How many days before check-in can the guest book this rate plan? So this is obviously a very interesting one. This is what we call the minimum advance purchase restrictions. So what we're saying is, in this instance, we're saying anytime. So this rate plan is always available. So for example, if I am looking to check in, say if I'm looking to check in on Saturday the 5th here of December, and I have a restriction that says I have to be 2 days before check-in, then that means that I would have to be booking this reservation for a check-in of the 5th between now and the time that the check-in time that is set on the listing is set. So if the check-in time for the listing is set at 1 p.m., then I'm already missed it and it won't allow me to book the 5th. I would have to book the 6th for this rate plan. So that's kind of how that works based on your check-in time settings that you have set up on your listing. But we're going to go ahead and set 2 days before. We're going to say we don't want people booking last minute with this kind of rate plan. And this is just for testing purposes. You can customize how you want. And it says, how do you want to manage this rate plan? You can base it off one of the current rate plans that you already have. So if you want to base it off the one that's already feeding in as the non-refundable, you can. Now, the one problem with that is if you have a different cancellation policy for this rate plan that does utilize the non-refundable rate plan as a parent, the problem is the booking, when it gets created, may get created in, and you may not actually see the difference in the cancellation policies, etc. So I would set this up as a new rate plan. All right. Now, keep in mind there are a few extra steps if you want to set up a new rate plan after you complete this form. You'll need to visit your channel manager, which is us, Rentals United, and then you can set the prices, load availability, and map it. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just say, yep, set up this as a new rate plan. And we're going to go ahead and do this for, we'll just leave it for all 3 units. It's fine. That's not too big of a deal. And then what are we going to call it? We're just going to say this is our flexible rate plan. Just flexible. Okay, now we're going to hit review. It's going to show us a little summary. So our policy, we're using the 30-day cancellation policy. There's no meals involved with this one. They have to stay in minimum of 2 nights. So when they search in the search results, they have to search for 2 nights. And then the bookable, they get 2 days or more before the check-in. And then the price is a new rate plan that we will be mapping in Rentals United. And then the rooms it's applied for, and then the name. So we're going to say activate. It's going to take a few seconds here to build this. And that was actually pretty fast. So now those are built. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back over here to the Rentals United Extranet, and we're going to take this ID that we have for that listing, remember, and up here you're going to see this external ID section, and what you're going to do is say add a group of properties that have the same rate in Booking.com. So now I know it may seem like we're bringing in a new listing, but we're not, right? It's an existing listing. But if we say import the properties, what will happen is it's hitting with our API to Booking.com, and it's bringing in those new rate plans we created. So now you'll see your property that's already mapped with the units that are going to it, feeding availability, as well as your rate that you've pushed in, are now automatically mapped and have a flexible rate plan. So for this, we're not going to mess with these 2 apartments because they're not active intentionally. But this guy, you'll notice it has this activate button. So you've got your non-refundable that we already had before with a 10% per night markup. And then we have our flexible rate plan that we just created. It has an activate button. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click activate. And you just say by activating it, you're pushing rates, availability, and minimum stay to Booking.com. Say, I understand. So now what's going to happen is it's activating, and you'll see it'll turn deactivate there just like that. And you'll realize that all of this one property. It's all mapped to it. So it's all good to go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to charge a premium for this, because we feel that if we're going to be more flexible to you as a customer, that you book it and you get money back, you're going to pay a premium for that service. And the people are willing to do that right now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to mark this up 20%. Now, why 20%? Well, that's just because we already have a 10% markup on our standard rate for the non-refundable that's going into the listing. We're just going to make it 20%, so we get a 10% premium over the non-refundable that's there. So you can put number of people in the price, you can do the minimal price, you can do the additional amount per day. So if you wanted to do a percentage markup plus an additional amount per day, you totally could. And then you can overwrite the minimum stay. But usually you just want to mess with the percentage and leave the settings default for everything else. So we're going to hit save the rate. So now you'll see there's marking it up by 20% and marking this one up by 10%. So when you go back to your Booking.com extranet, you can go into your rates and availability, and let's go look at the calendar that's inside of Booking.com. So here you have the calendar. Now I know it's not displaying the rates yet, but essentially this non-refundable rate is feeding 10% more each night based on the rate that you are feeding into Rentals United from your PMS or from your direct connection, or however you're getting your rates and availability to us at Rentals United. So it's feeding up a 10% premium here, and once it auto-populates from the newly connected rate plan, it'll be pushing in 20%. So you'll see it higher as a higher rate than the non-refundable. All right, so that's kind of how to do new rate plans. And like I said, you can do customs, you can do the presets they have. If you're not a length of stay pricing customer, you can use the weekly and monthly rate plan, which is great. So now we're going to shift gears. We're going to look at the promotions. So we're going to shift into that second piece I was talking about. So Booking.com has an amazing promotion API they've built out, and we have connected to that and have built it out. This allows us to have our clients at Rentals United be able to be in the extranet of Rentals United, doing business as usual, watching markups of rates and pricing, mapping units, connecting new channels, all that kind of stuff, right? But what this allows us to do as a client is to go into your listings here when you're at the main screen of this Booking.com properties after you've gone into services, and you can go and see these tabs over here. You can click on promotions. Now when you click on promotions, it's going to take a minute, but it loads it to a place where you can see all the promotions that you have currently active with Booking.com, as well as allows you to create new promotions. So you can create these inside the Rentals United extranet. It feeds right over through the APIs in the premier badges that we have as an API connectivity partner with Booking.com to push promotions to your listings that you select. So you can filter by the promotion name, the Rentals United ID, the Booking.com hotel ID, or your room ID. And you can look for active ones or deactive. And then you can basically, like I said, create a new one here. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to put in that listing ID that we were working on, right? Which is that property we were just doing with the rate plan. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hit put that in the field, and you'll notice that all the promotions that are currently active on that listing are popping up. So essentially you can see there's a last minute promotion here with a minimum length of stay of 5 nights. Your promotion hours will be available from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. based on your local time. The discount is a 13.51% discount. It has a non-refundable promotion is what it is. And at dates of stay for this promotion, they can stay March 25th through August 4th is what this promotion was. So this one's already expired because we're in December already, but we're going to go ahead and create a new promotion. So we're going to create new promotion, and essentially these are the options through the API you have to choose from. You can choose a basic deal, a last minute deal, where you can sell unbooked rooms, which is maxing out your occupancy and increasing your visibility on the mobile devices and attract last minute bookers, people who are looking to stay in a very short term place from their check-in date, meaning I'm looking for tomorrow check-in or in the next couple days. early booker, which is something that is a promotion for if you want to catch those people who are looking to make a booking right now in December for a stay date in the summer, June of next year. You could maybe apply a promotion for that to give people discounts or incentivize them to do that, because longer length of stay probably for those bookers. Business rate, you could attract business guests, meaning if you have people traveling for business, which is probably not a whole lot of traveling going on for business right now with COVID-19, but that will return at some point. And that can, obviously increase bookings. What they claim is 11% on average. And you also, enjoy up to 50% fewer cancellations and no-shows because of it. You also have a country rate promotion, so you can offer special terms to guests from selected countries. So this is a really unique thing because certain countries may pay a higher ADR because they look farther out, or they do something different, or maybe say you have a country that likes to book your product and your property and you want to give a discount to those points of sale. So this promotion will actually only appear on the points of sale that have a physical geographical location in the country you choose. And then one of the most popular ones that are going on right now is a mobile rate. This mobile rate plan, you put in this promotion and give a discount. You can increase the visibility among the domestic and young travelers, because essentially what happens is they will surface you in some marketing content that they push because you've enabled a mobile promo. So you get a little bit better search results. You get a little bit better impressions and eyeballs on your product. And you get, they say, which is up to 12% more bookings by offering a special deal to people browsing on the mobile phones. So what we're going to do, we're just going to make a mobile rate plan. How about that? And so you get to say who will see this promotion. And you can say guests using Booking.com app and Booking.com website on their mobile. Or you can say only guests using Booking.com app. I would say let's choose this because, people using the app or people using the website, but on their mobile phone. So you get a capture of a lot of different audience of folks. So maybe some people don't have the Booking.com app loaded. Now you have to do a minimum of 10% discount. So we'll just go ahead and do that as 10% for now. And they do give you some disclosures that if you are a Genius customer, meaning you have enabled Genius on your listing, or you have a basic deal or a last minute deal or an early booker deal or free nights deal, any of these ones that you have going on already as a promotion, this will stack on top of that. So the example is if you have a basic deal that gives somebody a 10% discount that meets the criteria of what they're looking for, that shows up on this mobile rate, and they have a 10% discount, then there's a 10% discount here. So essentially they're going to get 20% off because of those two overlapping promotion deals. So you may want to watch to make sure what kind of promotions you have, just in case, so you don't want to necessarily erode a ton out of your rate that you're trying to grab. Discounts from all promotions will be applied. And what doesn't stack with this would be a country rate, a limited time deal, or a business rate. So that's something to consider too, that if you wanted to do multiple discounts but don't want them to stack, you could pick these promotions to do, and that'll help. So it says, do you want to exclude any dates in case you would like the promotion to not be available on certain dates? Say you know of a high demand event or some area that you don't really need any help getting more impressions. You can just choose the date ranges that you would like for this not to be essentially available, essentially like a blackout date. All right, we're not going to choose anything here. We're just going to leave that alone, not worried about it. And then you go down here and you choose the hotel ID that you want it to apply to. So again, remember, we have that hotel ID that we've been working with. There's that one. Oops, apologies. That one. We're going to go ahead and select it. And then there's the best feature that I've seen our amazing product team build within building these promotions is you have multiple listing IDs potentially that you may want this applicable to. Maybe you want it your entire portfolio. You can just click another one and just go in and put another ID in there and just keep going and keep putting as many as you want. And that same settings and everything we just built is going to be applicable for all those IDs, which makes it really, really nice to be able to manage in a bulk kind of way, that it doesn't take a long time to have to go to each individual one and create one for each. So we're going to hit create promotion. And it was successfully created, the mobile rate, promotion ID, and the hotel ID, and there is no warnings. So we're going to hit OK. And once this refreshes, it should show you that promotion that we just created with putting in the filter of that. So let's find that one. Where did it go? There it is. So there's our mobile promotion. It's a mobile type of 10% discount, guests using the mobile app or on the website, and there is no dates of stay restriction for this. All right, now that's it. So, I hope this was very helpful. I think these are two great features and assets that really can help your business. They also help in taking away a lot of the manual components, specifically in the promotion API. I think it really helps bring things home to you managing your business and not having to jump in and out of a bunch of systems, specifically on this promotion API. Building the additional rate plan inside of the Booking.com Extranet. Obviously that's a little bit of a manual thing, but I think it's a great idea to do, because your standard rates, if you don't have a flexible option for people, or you don't build a length of stay discount rate plan, or you don't build something that gives additional options, you're missing out on the variable nature of different customers looking for different things, where you probably are fine with giving up a discount or increasing the rate of what you're offering on a certain rate plan for somebody who may be wanting to engage a flexible cancellation policy. And you may want to consider, going the opposite way, where you're bringing in a standard rate to Rentals United for that non-refundable, but maybe you want to drop the rate a little bit more on the non-refundable and leave your flexible rate plan at the regular rate. Meaning if you had 100 euros a night, maybe you leave the flexible with no increase and you just leave it as 100 euros per night, and you essentially discount the non-refundable, knowing that people are taking a hit on the non-refundable in that way too. So anyways, these are two great things to think about for Booking.com to kind of strategize and make your business and your listings perform better. So I hope this was helpful. Please don't hesitate to reach out to your account manager for more details or information about this, as well as if there's anything I can be of service, please, email will be down here below. Go ahead and down here below. And go ahead and send me an email or something if I can help in any ways. But your account managers, you're in good hands with them, so they can help as well too. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this, and take care.